Zach Bryan breaking up with his girlfriend via Instagram post is a perfect example of when you are in intimate relationships with men, you either choose harm or humiliation, and in this case, it was both. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time that he has behaved this way. I can only imagine the pit in her stomach she had when she woke up to see that post. This is my reminder that you need to be prepared for men to humiliate you, because oftentimes they do without remorse. I would go as far as saying that I think that women should be a little bit more ruthless when they are in relationships with men, because men prove us to be right every single time. They are not to be trusted. They are always guilty. And I think that women should be behaving accordingly. It reminds me of the gal that moved across the country and then back to Texas and then is still going on and saying that she thinks that he's a good guy. No, darling, you are a good person because you wanted to be loved and you wanted to love him. We wrap up our emotions into these men and project their potential onto them when that is never real. They tell us exactly who they are every single time, and we need to start believing them and proceeding and behaving accordingly.
Men will really go out of their way to disappoint you in the most out-of-pocket ways. Right before my birthday, a man that I was talking to messaged me and asked if he could send me flowers for my birthday. And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, no, thank you so much. That's so sweet. You totally don't have to do that. And he's like, no, please, I would really love to do this for you. And we went back and forth. He just wanted delivery instructions for the flowers. So finally I gave it to him. And I was like, that's so nice. My birthday comes, the flowers do not. And I wasn't gonna say anything, but because he made such a thing of it unprompted, I was like, hey, the flowers never came. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. And that's it. That's the story. For what?
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Miss Kafue. So ladies, in this video, we are talking about how men will wake up early to disappoint you. Men will always disappoint you, ladies. That's why you don't need to have any expectations with any man, because a man will go out of his way to disappoint you. Anyway, ladies, I don't want to be a spoiler and start my commentary right here, but I'll let you watch the video until the end, and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
If a man has disappointed you or irritated you, I am going to give you the life hack. When I'm disappointed by a man, or, you know, he kind of flopped. He kind of flopped. They have a tendency to flop, okay? That's their thing. They love doing it. They love it. And what I have told myself, okay, sometimes you have to rewire your brain. And this is what happens now, okay? When a man disappoints me or lets me down, I don't get upset anymore. I don't get mad. Like, that's on him. He wanted to do it. That's his vibe. That's his prerogative. Like, go off, queen. I love that for you. You're a bitch. But I'm not gonna harbor any negativity towards that man. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because like attracts like, okay? And I don't want that for me. So now, all that happens is I just get hotter. I just get fucking hotter, okay? So when I'm disappointed by a guy, I'm like, the glow up, I'm gonna get 10 times hotter this week. I love this. This is amazing. This is not bad. This is not a negative, okay? You have to reframe that shit in your head, okay? Take five, regroup, do what you gotta do. Feel the feelings, but like, I'm sorry, who doesn't want to be hot and sexy? Like, that's literally my only vibe in life. Like, I just want to be hot and sexy and have fun. Especially if I know that I kept it 100, I was honest, I was cool, I was chill. I didn't do anything. I don't know what the fuck he's on. Obviously, some neck shit. I'm not getting beg you to stay, beg you to choose me, beg you to pick, baby. I already won. This shit is rigged in my favor. I can't lose. I literally can't lose. When you're hot and sexy and an angel in human form, like, you cannot lose. You just simply cannot lose, okay? So this is the mindset that you need to have, and like, brainwash yourself a little bit too. Like, that's okay. Brainwash yourself. I don't give a fuck any of the haters want to come on this video and fucking tell me that I'm cocky. No, bitch, I'm fucking confident. There's a fucking difference. Okay?
You know what? I am done trying. I keep letting men in and they keep disappointing me. But I've been focused on the wrong things, because you know what never disappoints me? A new pair of shoes. New clothes. Oh, and women.
So, men have disappointed me too. This comment reminds me of something that I said to my therapist during cancer treatment. And that was, I'm really not impressed with what men are bringing to the table. And the reason that I said that to her and that I was thinking that was that I had been reflecting on every man that I'd ever dated. And I realized that, first of all, I dated horrible people, like truly, truly just terrible people. And also I realized that every single man that I ever dated took so much more from me than they gave to me. And every relationship left me just feeling completely depleted. Back to all the terrible men that I've ever dated. So they were awful. And now I kind of nostalgically think about my only boyfriend who was nice. And when I think about him, I think that, like, even though that relationship was so painful, he was just like a garden variety, emotionally unavailable guy, and that was like basically probably, I mean, it was my best relationship for sure. And it was one of my first relationships or early relationships. Not my literal first one, but it was early. I was 25. I was really in love with this guy. He was very nice in a sense, but he was extremely emotionally unavailable. But thinking back, that seems like amazing compared to the guys that I dated after him, who were like not just garden variety emotionally unavailable, but like hardcore avoidant and alcoholic, either active or recovering. And the last guy that I dated before I was diagnosed with cancer was like a narcissist. And I'm not saying that, I know that word is overused. I'm not like just being like general with that or exaggerating. Like, he literally was like a horrible, horrible narcissist, and also active alcoholic with like a very big drinking problem. You may wonder why I liked him to begin with and why I even started dating him, and that's a story for another time, and I will tell you all about him, I'm sure. But I like nostalgically think about the guy I dated who was emotionally unavailable, because compared to every other person, that was like by far the best relationship I ever had. And like, it wasn't really a good relationship. So I had this realization during cancer treatment that I wasn't impressed with what men were bringing to the table, that all the relationships that I'd ever had were horrible, that it was so painful to even want a relationship because I wanted a relationship so badly, and that longing for something that wasn't happening in my life was so extremely painful. That said, at this point, I'm 5 years out of cancer treatment. The last person I dated was 6 years ago, right before I was diagnosed with cancer, the alcoholic narcissist. I've actually gone on 2 dates since I was diagnosed with cancer, one earlier this year and one last year, but they were just like one-off dates. There was no connection. I'm not actively dating, and I haven't dated anyone in almost 6 years. A whole nother story for another time is whether I want to date and whether I want to be in a relationship anymore, which is like very difficult for me to figure out and get to the bottom of, because dating and relationships have historically been so painful for me. Like, I've never had a good relationship, that in my head, I think like when I think that I don't want that anymore, I'm not sure if that's true and real or if that's a self-protective device, because they've all been so painful. Nothing has ever like worked out for me. And maybe I'm just protecting myself by saying like, I don't even want that anymore. It's hard to get to the bottom of this. That's another story. So I could relate to what this commenter said about disappointment with men. I mean, I've just dated such horrible men. So I like to think this doesn't actually apply to all men. It's just like the ones that I've dated have been so terrible. I would like to be surprised. I would like to be surprised.
Start having all these excuses of why they can't do something, then, instead of getting upset or mad or concerned, just like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll find another way. When a woman says, don't worry about it, I will find another way, that means another man. And they will quickly try to figure out how they can do whatever you need them to do for you. Especially if you stop answering the phone because you're looking for that other way. Stop responding to their messages while you are looking for that other way. And when you find that other way, if you actually needed that other way, then when they continuously call or text you and ask, did you find the way that you were looking for, or did you get your problem solved? You can say, you know what, I sure did. Can I call you back? Or is it okay if I message you later, and then click? Okay, do not stay on the phone with that person. Do not listen to their excuse. Do not entertain them anymore after they did not help you or give you what you need. Okay, after they told you to hope you find another way. Dismiss them and have them waiting for your call forever. Okay? People waiting by the phone, ain't nobody gonna ever call. And if they continuously try to contact you and, date you, just like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I don't think it's going to work out, but good luck to you in finding whatever you're looking for. Dismiss them instead of being wondering why this didn't work. It worked for you because obviously they were going to waste your time anyway. And this is how you have to start looking at these situations. Y'all are looking at it from the victim's perspective. You have to look at it from the one in charge. Okay? You are in charge. The woman is in charge of the courting. Why? Because the man courts you and you decide, or you're in charge of if he's worthy of you or not. The other man should remember. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Or you should already be reminding them ahead of time. So, for example, if it's Valentine's Day or your birthday, at the beginning of the month, you need to start making sure he knows, like putting up Valentine's Day decorations or reminding people that it's your birthday or talking about birthday plans or, talking on the phone loud to someone else. Yeah, my birthday is coming up, girl. Yeah. So he can hear. So he's not going to forget something if you keep talking about it, because he can't, because that's all you're going to be talking about. Okay? Closed mouths don't get fed. If they forget, then they wanted to forget. And that should tell you how they feel about it. Okay? Either you listen or you don't. I'm like, you know what? If you already knew it was going to be my birthday or Valentine's Day, you done heard it 50, 11 times, and I didn't get no gift, then you don't like me. And I have to listen to you and go find someone who likes me more. That's how it's got to be. Because what you do when you accept that behavior is to tell them that that's okay. And if it's not okay for you, then, then you need to let them know by getting your gift from somewhere else. Oh, God, it's Aries, sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you, girl. Like, you're not finna be dusty over here. You heard what I said. You know what time it is. You know what day it is. You ain't got me no gift, then somebody else got me a gift, and you ain't getting nothing but kicked to the curb.
If he bothered you, if he hurt you, if he disappointed you, if he messed up in any shape or form, stop giving your power away by sitting there with your mascara literally running down your face, looking like an absolute fool, only proving to him how emotionally affected you are by his actions. The more you react unbothered, the more you don't even react, the more he looks like a fool because he's not getting a reaction out of you. You don't even care. You don't even flinch. The world keeps spinning. All of a sudden he thinks, hold on a minute, I thought she loves me. I thought she's gonna go crazy. I thought she's gonna have an emotional tantrum. Where is that love? Where's that connection? Where's all of your emotions? Men know that women are emotional beings. If a woman can mimic a man, think like a man but act like a lady, and mirror his emotional control, they are shocked. You were 2 steps ahead of the game all along, and he realized he cannot rattle you. This man has no emotional power over you.
There's a reason why every time you expect something from a man, you get disappointed. And I'm going to tell you what you need to have instead of the expectations that will get you what you want faster and guarantee you better results in every single relationship you get into. By the way, I'm Phyla, an award-winning life and relationship coach for women. I teach women how to prioritize sacred self-care, how to heal emotional and intimate trauma, and how to create healthy relationships for life. Now back to the conversation about expectations. Your expectations are a conversation you're having with yourself. It doesn't involve anyone else. It doesn't take into account what anyone else's needs or values are. It simply is about what you would expect from a person based on your limited perspective of what you believe should be happening. And the reason why having expectations always leads to disappointment and disaster and letdown is because no one knows your expectations but you. You carry your expectations around from situation to situation, and they're mostly happening in your head, not in conversation, because there's really no way to tell someone what you expect them to do in a respectful way. So here's what I want you to do instead of having expectations. I want you to create your requirements. When I'm coaching my clients, I tell them to expect nothing but require everything. Require everything that you need. Require everything that's important to you. Require all of your non-negotiables. And require the things that you must have in order to feel safe, secure, loved, seen, and acknowledged in the relationship. So instead of expecting anything from a man, I want you to begin to require what you want from him. Create your relationship requirements based on the emotional experiences you want to have when you're in relationships. Make sure that it's rooted and grounded in the feelings, not materialism, not the things, but the feelings that you really want to experience when you are in a loving, committed, passionate relationship. And when you enter into a connection with someone, you're able to communicate the things that you require in order to allow that man into your life. And if he's not willing to accept your requirements or rise to the level of your requirements, then you get to let him go and he gets to go free. And there's no hurt or heartbreak because everyone knows what's required from the beginning and no one has to guess about what's expected. If you need more help with this, tap my name right here so that you can book a complimentary call with me at the link in my bio.
Ladies, can you please do me a favor and stop asking why men do the things they do? Because the reality is you don't want to hear the truth, which is because they can. They do these things because they can. They waste your time because they can. They try to sleep with you early because they can. They date multiple girls at the same time because they can. They cheat on the girl they're dating because they can. They lie because they can. Why would a guy tells me he really likes me but then do X, Y, and Z? Because he can. And so many women waste so much time, waste so much emotional turmoil in trying to figure out why. And I need to understand, but why? Because what are you going to do when you get that information? Okay, he cheated on you with this girl that you don't like because he's a complete prick with no regard or respect for you. Does that make you feel better? Of course it's not going to make you feel better. Stop using why as a reason to be stuck. Why is hitting you guys like super glue, keeping you stuck in place while that man is moving on, living his best life, not thinking about you once, let alone twice. Meanwhile, you're thinking about him every minute of every day. Being sad about why a guy did what he did to you and, why he hurt you, I understand that. That's a natural part of life and that's a grieving process that you have to go through as a woman. I get that. Take the word why out of your grieving process. Just deal with the facts. He did this to me. What is the logical explanation? The logical explanation is he doesn't respect me. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't like me. And take that and use that to heal. Because that harshness will help you conclude. It will help you summarize the situation in your mind and your heart. Because the reality is, when you understand that someone doesn't care about you, there's not much else to it. And I think a lot of women can't fathom that because they think, I'm a good girl, I'm a nice girl, I would have done anything for you. They don't care because you're not the only one. There are multiple women, for a lot of men, who will do anything for them, especially if these are kind of men are dangling the carrot of relationship, marriage, because that's what a lot of women want. So a very easy trick for men to employ is to make it seem like they see you as girlfriend, wifey, to get what they want from you, to use you, because a lot of men want to use you. Let me be for real. So if you're able to stop worrying about the why and focus on your healing and focus on moving forward and focus on moving away from that person physically, mentally, with any of your time, you will heal faster and you will be able to go again with the relevant knowledge and the relevant experience. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you. Mwah.
Like, you have to be able to you have to let go of the control, I think, to truly be in your feminine and allow them to disappoint you. You have to allow them to go out and not text you and not call you at the end of the night, because what they're doing is they're showing you who they are. And when they show you who they are, believe them.
And your gut will tell you.
Men who treat you poorly and has continued to treat you poorly aren't going to treat you any better if you give them more of what they want or less of what they want. They know how to treat you right. They just choose not to treat you right because it's you. They will treat the right woman they want to be with the right way and continue to treat you like trash because you keep allowing them. If you have trouble dating or picking the right guy today, go sign up for my free community.
Do you have a guy in your life who has done something that clearly does not live up to your standards? For example, maybe you guys were in the talking stage and he took way too long to respond to one of your text messages. Or he said he was going to do something and then didn't live up to it or even left you hanging. If this is you, there are 3 things that you can do right now that can actually correct the behavior and make it a lot less likely that he'll ever do these things to you again. The talking stage is ultimately when someone tests you to understand what your boundaries are and how you expect to be treated. So don't feel bad if you have to use any of these 3 things. It is very, very normal. The first thing you're gonna do is called the playful push. The playful push is when you address what they did wrong, but the key is that you do it in a playful and encouraging way. So say for example, someone doesn't text you back for a few days and then rolls in a few days later like nothing happened. The playful push would make it clear that you are not okay with their response time, but do it in a playful and sassy way. Something like, oh, so bold of you to roll in like that after a few days of a radio silence. I would probably put like a skull beside it, implying like you were gonna be dead to me. At this point, they'll probably apologize and let you know that they'll never do it again. This is because you were real with them, but didn't seem uncaring, angry, or bite off their head. If you do the playful push and they still test your boundaries, you're gonna move on to something called the calm call out. This is when you state firmly but lovingly your boundary again. And you're gonna reference the first time that you brought it to their attention. Hey, remember that time I told you that I don't like being left hanging? I don't like being left hanging. You are either gonna text this or say it as earnestly as humanly possible. Third thing, guys, is the ultimatum. Now, I could do an entire video on how to do an ultimatum. Let me know here in the comments if you want something like that. There is nothing that a guy or a girl fears more than losing you. If you do this thing again, I will need to say my goodbyes, and I don't want to. This is the most effective way of communicating your boundaries, but should only ever be a last resort.
Oh my God, I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you've been disappointed by a man to the point that you're wondering, what's up? Like, what did I do wrong to deserve this? What happened? What did my ancestors do wrong for me to fall into this man's hands who disappoints me? Ladies, if a man disappoints you, you need to cut that off. Let me tell you, there's something disappointment does to your brain that is not good. Like, every time, like, can you imagine having a partner who every day he disappoints you? I feel like it drains you emotionally, like your heart like becomes, I don't know, because I was with a partner who disappointed me every day, so he did something to me. So right now, like, I'm this hyper independent woman who, like, I prefer to have things in my control because I know I cannot disappoint myself. And if something doesn't happen, I already know why. Like, it's within my control, it's within my power, than to have to depend or to rely on someone else to do it for me, because people will always disappoint you. And not only disappoint you because they couldn't, like, do this and this, no. Or because it was out of their control. No, people will actually go out of their way to disappoint you. And in this case, especially men will try as hard as possible to disappoint you. That's what you have to know every time. Like, whenever you're in these situations with men or blah, 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 you have to know a man will go out of his way to really, like, mess things up, to really, like, fumble you, sabotage everything, and ultimately destroy you through a lot of disappointments. Let me tell you, you really have to reinvest all this energy back to you. As I'm watching these videos, some of these videos on dating, blah, 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 I get really tired because I'm like, oh my God, it's too many rules. I can't keep up. And I don't want to invest my time on learning rules to do with pleasing men or doing this and this or to acquire a man. No, I don't want. Why can the men do that work? No, I don't want to do any of that. I prefer to learn how to get rich. I prefer to learn how to save my money the best way. I prefer how to learn finances. I prefer to learn about how I can invest or how I can achieve my body goals or whatever. Like, except like how to do so that man can choose you. Me, I feel like that's pick me content. I don't know, but me, I'd never publish that video or how to do what so that you can get rich men. How to we are tired of those things. Personally, I speak for myself. I'm so tired of such things. Like, I feel like it's too much. Ladies, your energy, don't let your energy be depleted. Reinvest all that energy back to yourself. You'd rather work on you. Work on you until like the sky is just above your ceiling. That's what I tell you, because these men are not worth investing your energy on. Men will disappoint you until you actually like never want to deal with them anymore. You actually get to this point whereby you only want to deal with you or anything that came from you, meaning your kids. Like, those are the only people you want to deal with, or your family, or those who support you. Like me, I prefer you deal with those people than put your expectations on a man. If you have any expectations, put the expectations on you. Don't put your expectations on no other human being, even generally on other people. Put the expectations on yourself. You're the only one who knows why you didn't achieve them, and you're the only one who can hold yourself accountable. That's better. And it actually improves the relationship with yourself, because you tend to hold yourself accountable. You tend to push yourself to these places whereby you need to be, you need to achieve, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, ladies, I didn't have much to comment on this video, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to know in the comment section down below whether you enjoyed this video, and I'll be happy to engage with you guys in the comment section. So ladies, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.